Batman. One of the biggest heroes in the DC universe, and one of the hardest things anyone can ever talk about. I mean, think about it. Batman's been around since the 40s, and since then, every single person and critic and filmmaker has gotten their hands on the property and have turned into a movie, TV series, or whatever. And yeah, sure. It's kind of hard to trace how Batman came into pop culture ubiquity. He first started in the 1960s in the campy TV show with Adam West as Batman. As a show that was well rewarded, and also brought the incarnations of his enemies, such as the Joker, the Penguin, Killer Croc, and Egghead, among other things. And it wasn't until the TV movie in 1966, where he basically had Batman and Robin back once again. And it wasn't until, but in terms of movies, it wasn't until 1989 that we got Batman. This film was directed by Tim Burton, and it was one of his first ever films. And it basically had him as director, Michael Keaton as Batman, the legendary Jack Nicholson as the Joker, a role that's still talked about to this day, and of course Kim Basinger as Vicky Vale. And now the film was actually incredibly well received. Because instead of pandering to the kids, it was more for the adults, even though kids could find something to love in it. And to that day, it continues to be one of the most popular Batman movies ever heard of. Even did a lot better than its sequel, Batman Returns, which was just as stock as the first one, and also brought on Danny DeVito as the Penguin and Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman, aka Selina Kyle. The film didn't feel as triumphantly as the first Batman was, but was still well received and made a lot more money. However, people were disappointed that Batman Returns wasn't the box office success that they wanted to be. So they told Tim Burton to either lighten up and not be so dark and brooding with it, else he would get booted. And of course, he took the coward's way. And of course, he cowered out. He didn't want to do the light, so he left. So they booted him out as director and brought in Joel Schumacher, who only had a few films to his belt, such as the vampire film The Lost Boys. He replaced Burton as director, and he basically bought the studio Batman Forever, in which nearly the entire roles were recast. Like, this one had Val Kilmer as Batman. It also brought on Chris O'Donnell as Robin. Not to mention, it also had Jim Carrey as the Riddler, Tommy Lee Jones as Two-Face, aka Harvey Dent, a role that was originally by Billy D. Williams from the original Batman in 1989. And it was replaced with Tommy Lee Jones. Not to mention that was a lot different. It was a lot campier. It was a lot more lighter. The one-liners were really corny, but it was what Warner Bros. Originally wanted to be: safe, marketable, and more lined up with the 1960s series. And also, it was a huge box office success. So they brought in Schumacher to direct the abomination that would be Batman and Robin. And honestly, guys, anyone who's seen that film knows that film was just horrible. Not only had some of the worst writing of a superhero movie, almost every single line was a pun or a bad joke, especially coming from Akira Goldsman of all people. Not to mention that it completely wastes Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze. Basically just spouts pun after pun. But same goes for Poison Ivy, played by Uma Thurman. Not to mention the fact almost every single potential that the Batman franchise had was gone, thrown out the window. But it wasn't enough that Warner Bros. decided to boot out Joel Schumacher for Batman Triumphant, in which he wanted to bring the series back to its darker roots. And so the Batman series lay dormant for the next century and a half. Then came along Christopher Nolan. The man basically brought the franchise back to its darker roots with his own Batman trilogy, starting in 2005 with Batman Begins, which is a much more smarter, more action-packed, and far more mature updating of the world than one could otherwise expect. It had great action, a good, thoughtful state of the character, and as well as powerful performances from Christian Bale as Batman, Michael Caine as Alfred Pennyworth, not to mention Liam Neeson as Ra's al Ghul. and basically basically that film cemented Batman once more. And then and same will follow. Some will follow with the superhero classic that would be The Dark Knight with obviously with Heath Ledger as the Joker, overshadowing all the other performances, especially others like say Aaron Eckhart as Harvey Dent, not to mention Maggie Gyllenhaal as Rachel Dawes. And last but not least, The Dark Knight Rises. Do I need to say anything more? So that brings us to the Lego Batman movie. Now, how this film got started was back in 2014. Phil Lord, the parody duo known as Phil Lord and Christopher Miller, who basically do everything right for parody, what Jason Friedberg and Aaron Seltzer do wrong for parody. They basically took Rose's story about Legos, and they basically presented to Warner Brothers, and basically have it be about a brick construction worker who let's say he's destined to save the Lego world, and he does. Which he does. Now that film had a great voice cast behind it, one of which was Will Arnett as Batman. And because Batman got a lot of great attention from that film, they decided to make a Lego spin-off movie with Batman. And so here we have Lego Batman. Now basically, I'm not gonna lie, I was so hyped for this film. This one had a lot of potential behind it. Not only did it have Will Arnett coming back as Batman, but also had other great casts, such as Ralph Fiennes as Alfred, Michael Cera as Robin, Rosario Dawson as Barbara Gordon, not to mention Zach Galifianakis as the Joker, of all things. So, I was able to see the film, The Lego Batman. What did we get, guys? Well, guys, I'm not gonna mince words right out of the gate. ILOVED loved this film. Gosh, I didn't see a film that surprised me as much as the Lego movie last year, in 2014, or the Max Fury Road in 2015. But oh my gosh, guys, the Lego Batman movie is fan-frickin-tastic. Man, if you guys love and will make the Lego movie such a great success, what was its sharp animation, great voice casting, incredible humor, especially great satire and great use of its pop culture references, is Batman delivers all that and plus more. And honestly, and the performances are definitely something great. And so, as a matter of fact, let's start with the performances, which are exactly one of the film's best strengths lies. First of all, Will Arnett as Batman. This is an awesome performance, guys. I'm not gonna mince words. And I do still like Kevin Conroy's voice work as Batman on Batman the Animated Series, but Will Arnett basically takes Batman to a whole new level. He basically still takes the brooding arrogant, selfish jerkness that Batman was known for, and it actually makes it a lot more fun and definitely a lot more charismatic. Because Will Arnett's a great comedian, and the better lines he has, the better he does. And I will be remiss not to mention the Joker. Zach Galifianakis, holy crap! I thought this guy was in a rut since his Hangover days, because seriously, it's kind of a funny story. Keeping Up with the Joneses, those movies were not good. This movie is why we love Zach Galifianakis. Even though he's still on the same level as, say, Heath Ledger or Mark Hamill or Jack Nicholson, this guy knows his Batman lore. He really loves this film, and you can definitely tell that in the battle between him and Will Arnett's Batman, love it. Every word, love it. Seriously, go see the film. You know what I mean. And Ray Fiennes as Alfred. Definitely excels as well. I still like Michael Caine as from Nolan's trilogy, but Ray Fiennes comes into his own on the role. It actually brings some surprisingly good humor. I really loved it. And now I need to talk, and I especially love Rosario Dawson as Barbara Gordon. Especially like how Batman comes to realize that he needs her just like they need him. And last but not least, we have to talk about the animation. What more can I say about the animation? The animation is sharp, it's top notch, it's Legos. What more can I say? And I gotta say, the color scheme is brilliant. brilliant, especially with the explosions and everything, and especially like how for this film, outside the Lego movie, this film is still just as funny, but it brings a lot the scenes, but the animation brings a lot more dark intensity to the action scenes, which are all really well done. And last but not least, guys, I gotta talk about the humor. Every single joke had me rolling in the aisles, especially from the first word out of Batman's mouth. I was rolling in the seats. I didn't stop laughing for about an hour. That's how great a film can be. Hey, normally people don't like comedies with it, where they just do one joke after another, but if you can make the joke land, it's worth it. It's worth it. However, if you try something just for the sake of it, don't do it. That's why Friedberg and Seltzer constantly fail, because they try too much as a favorite humor over characterization. But this film doesn't push humor joke after joke all the time. It allows the characters room to breathe. It actually takes a good element from The Dark Knight Rises. It's a character study of some of these characters, and honestly, that was great. I loved every single joke. Had me rolling in the aisles, and there's only one nitpick I have of the film. It ended. I don't want it to end. Seriously, this film had me rolling in the aisles, sharp animation, terrific voice acting all across the board. Seriously, check out the guys voicing the villains. You'll be surprised. What I especially loved is how they were able to incorporate Warner Brother villains like, say, Lord Voldemort, Sauron, Agent Smith. Go check it out, guys. You're gonna love it, honestly. And really, what more can I say about this film? Everything about the Lego Batman movie is excellent. The animation is sharp. It's intense. Hence, the voice acting, Will Arnett, Rosario Dawson, Michael Cera, Zach Galifianakis. Every single guy knocks their performance out of the park. And especially the humor. Every single joke had me rolling in the aisles. Now look, I may just repeat myself here, but what more can I say? You guys know how good this film is, and so yeah, I highly recommend this. And for that reason, I'm gonna give this film my stamp of approval, a 10 out of 10. And this film is an example of how great animation can be. I don't know what it is, guys. So I'm not gonna mince words anymore. Check this out. You will not regret it. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. If you like what you saw, please subscribe, like, and check out my Facebook page. Thanks a lot. Just so you know, guys, I was so excited to see this film, and do not expect it for even 50 Shades of Grey, because I'm loving that film. I love that film. Loathe that film, mind you. And plus, who needs that film when I got this one? Anyway, I'll see you guys later. Until then, I'm Ross. You're watching M&M Weekly. I'll see you later, guys.